Why do your frontline leaders need to care about employee performance? I'm Greg Schenkel, President of Unique Training and Development and Frontline Leadership Systems, and it probably seems like a no-brainer that your frontline leaders need to care about employee performance, but maybe they don't understand how dramatically they can influence that performance. I think the myth that many companies have is that you have to have a good employee to have good performance. It's really all about the employees. But performance is actually based more on the abilities and strengths of the person leading that group. And I'll dig into that a little bit more. The fact is, according to a Gallup report, companies with a highly engaged workforce have 21% higher profitability and 17% higher productivity. So highly engaged workforce isn't really based on the employees themselves as much as it is based on the leadership structure that supports them. So we had one client that talked so negatively about their employees. They would actually, in management meetings, make very derogatory comments about employees. And of course, that led to really a lot of animosity between the leaders who are very autocratic and very top-down, and you shall do this. And that ended up creating an environment where employees wanted to do the bare minimum, which of course made the management feel like, see, I told you these guys don't want to work, but they didn't realize that they were actually causing the problem. So do you notice any linkage between the effectiveness of the leaders at different sites, different shifts, and different departments? And if so, that means it isn't just one size fits all. It means that the leader is actually influencing the performance of that work group. So I've got a few tips for how you can help your frontline leaders care about employee performance and actually make some positive improvements. Tip number one is to evaluate the leadership effectiveness. It probably won't take longer. In fact, you could probably do it in a half-hour or one-hour management meeting, is what are the relative strengths and weaknesses in the various supervisors and team leaders that you have in your operation? You know, who is leading the way that you'd like and who maybe needs to change something up or to increase their strength in those areas. The second thing is to communicate the expectations. Now, we're talking about the expectations of a leader in terms of managing performance, but also how the leaders communicate to the frontline team members around what winning looks like. Because we've been finding that a lot of times organizations aren't really clear about what winning is, and if employees don't understand what winning is, it's kind of like a team that has no goal and doesn't understand what it takes to win the game. So you're going to communicate the expectations. Now, the third tip is to coach the behaviors that generate those results. So when I say coach the behaviors is a lot of times as a leader, once you're focused on performance and you've been very clear about what winning is, now you have to help that player, that team member, understand what it takes to move from this level of performance to this level of performance. And I think sometimes we're too dismissive that say the employees don't care, but employees want to win and they want to do well. And so if they're approached in a way that says you'd be even more productive, even more effective, even stronger in your position if you did it this way, people will actually take tips like that because we're all interested in some degree of mastery in the jobs that we've been assigned. And you can even get the sense of pride that comes with knowing that by taking some feedback that will help increase my performance actually makes me more loyal to the organization and makes me feel better about working there, which means I'm less likely to look for a job elsewhere. So these are all great things that you can do to increase frontline employee performance. Now, once you've addressed this issue of getting your frontline leaders to think more about employee performance, you're going to realize there's a lot of other leadership skills that they also need to work on. That could include things like communications, motivation and engagement, also just how to hold people more accountable. And those are just some of the topics that are available in our Frontline Leadership Training Program, which is normally 3 full days or 6 half days. And you can have that delivered on site in person, or if it works better for your organization because your leaders are spread out across multiple shifts, you can have it done virtually through our state-of-the-art virtual training studio. No matter which way it works best for you, it all starts with a conversation, and that conversation can occur by clicking on our website at uniquedevelopment.com or connecting through LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, whichever your favorite social media channel is. Now, once we have that conversation, we can see what kind of solution will help move your organization towards being highly engaging and high performing.